What a beautiful day to come to church. I wonder, Adam, how many people do we have in the online pews right now? You're going to look? I think there are a lot more people in the online pews. But you are a hearty bunch. How many? 47? 47 households. So you in the online pews, we're so happy that you're home and warm and cozy. And we are also happy that we were all warm and cozy, but we made our way. Both of these congregations come together as one. And I have found in the past couple of weeks, the hardest question to answer is, how are you? How are you? Yeah, what do you say, right? What do you say? What did you say, Ed? Happy New Year. Yeah, I know. It's a difficult question to answer right now. But when we come together on Sunday morning and we look to each other for light and for warmth and for hospitality and welcome, for caring, for like-heartedness, and for a heartening hour, we can say in some little space of our hearts, we are well enough. We are well enough. And so welcome to All Souls, where all souls are welcome. You are joyfully called to worship. I invite you to rise in body and in spirit. We'll join our voices in singing Love Will Guide Us, which is kind of the anthem for the months for us. If you are in the sanctuary and here for the first time, I invite you to raise your hand so we know to welcome you appropriately. We see you. Welcome, welcome. And those of you in the online pews, if you are here for the first time, let us know in the chat, and Carol and others for sure will welcome you there. We see you. We are waving to you. We're glad that you are here. And how many? 51. 51 households. That's a lot of households. We must share peace with each other in bright, bright, bright colors and energy. So let us make a joyful noise as we turn to each other with a greeting of peace. Peace be with you. Peace be with you. Every week we begin with a land acknowledgement so that we are ever reminded that we work and live on land that is not our own, that was taken from the Nahantic, Mohegan, Mashantucket, Pequot, and Eastern Pequot people. And as we acknowledge as much, we honor that they are still here, practicing educational efforts and cultural events that remind us of their presence and all that they have done and continue to do to take care of this land and its people. We begin by lighting our chalice, a symbol of Unitarian Universalism, a symbol of liberation and courage. And I'm going to invite Jojo and Seamus up together to light the chalice. And we will say these words together. May this light we now kindle inspire us to use our power to heal and not to harm, to help and not to hinder, to bless and not to curse, and to serve in the spirit of love. Thank you, Seamus. Thank you, Jojo. That from the Passover Haggadah. Liz will light a candle of peace this morning. We light a candle of peace every week when we want to hold up a place, a people who are in need of our care and concern and prayers to flow toward them. And this morning, we light this chalice for the family and community of Sam Nordquist. Sam was a trans man whose life was taken from him, not sadly, tragically, horrifyingly. And so we hold him in our hearts, we say his name out loud, and we are reminded that we must show up for our trans siblings in this moment and honor their struggle, their joy, their lives as we move into these uncharted and difficult waters. To Sam Nordquist, amen. Amen. The story for all ages this morning is called Love. And today we're going to be shining light on love and love's power. Love will guide us, we sing over and over and over again. And so Liz, who is serving as our liturgist this morning, will share the story with us. Liz.
Love by Matt de la Peña, with illustrations by Lauren Long. In the beginning, there is light, and wide-eyed figures standing near the foot of your bed, and the sound of their voices is love. A cab driver plays love softly on his radio while you bounce in back with the bumps of the city, and everything smells new, and it smells like life. Love, too, is the smell of crashing waves and a train whistling blindly in the distance, and each night the sky above your trailer turns the color of love. On the night the fire alarm blares and you're pulled from sleep and whisked into the street where a quiet old lady is pointing to the sky, stars shine long after they've flamed out, she tells you. And the shine they shine with is love. But it's not only stars that flame out, you discover. It's summer, too, and friendships, and people. One day you find your family nervously huddled around the TV, but when you ask what happened, they answer with silence, and they shift between you and the screen. In your dream that night, you were searching for a love that seems lost. You open and close drawers, lift cushions, empty old toy bins, but there's nothing. you wake with a start in the arms of a loved one who bends to your ear and whisper, "It's okay. It's okay. It's love." And in time, you learn to recognize a love overlooked, a love that wakes at dawn and rides to work on the bus, a slice of burnt toast that tastes like love. And it's love in each deep crease of your grandfather's face as he lowers himself onto an overturned bucket to fish. And it's love in the rustling leaves of gnarled trees lined behind the flower fields. And it's love in the made-up stories your uncles tell in the backyard between wild horseshoe throws. And the man in rags outside the subway station plays love notes that lift into the sky like tiny beacons of light. And the face staring back in the bathroom mirror, this too is love. So when the time comes for you to set off on your own, heavy winds will sweep past your building and great gray clouds will congregate above. Your loved ones will stand there like puddles beneath their umbrellas, holding you tight and kissing you and wishing you luck. But it won't be luck you'll leave with, because you'll have love. You'll have love, love, love.
So ends the story. You'll have love, love, love. Let's say it together. You will have love, love, love. And love will guide us. Love will guide us. And so we take the sentiment and meaning of that story and allow it to carry us into this next element of our liturgy, in which we are reminded of the commitment that we make to each other to witness, to bear witness to each other's lives, the joy and the sorrow both. Those of you in the online pews, Carol will tell you what to do. Those of you here in Unity Hall, I invite you to come forward and light candles of intention as you are so moved. We open this circle and this time for the creation and sustenance of beloved community. We'll prepare our hearts to receive what has been shared. This was last week. Okay, here we are. We hold up our trans and non-binary youth, especially, targeted by this draconian administration. Certainly today, we do so even more. Susan Zimmerman, I think these are from before, but we're gonna celebrate Susan's first grandchild being born, because you can't celebrate that enough. So welcome to grandchild Clover, who we celebrated before and we will continue to celebrate. Right, Susan? Absolutely. And Casey, I think there are no new things, but we are thinking of Casey Cloud, who had knee surgery. So Casey, we continue to think of you, and I think there were no other new things written in here. So let's look and see the online pews. There are 66 households in the online pews, because some people are late even when they're going to their couch. We love you. We love you. All right. Yeah. Judy Bain, I don't know if you meant this for this moment, but I'm going to say it. Judy Bain is a children's librarian. She's really on the cutting edge of children's literature and, sadly, book banning and all that is happening in our schools in that area. And Judy says she loves, all caps, reading this book aloud and sharing the beautiful illustrations. It's such a beautiful book. Maddie Weaver, I just want to say hi to the Weaver family. We haven't seen them in so long. They've been in the online pews. Maddie and Devin, so good to have you here. Let's see. David Burnside asks us to spare a thought for Clara Franklin, who is young adulting in Brooklyn. And I know how that is. So, of course, we are thinking of Clara. Peter Cooper offers joy to the wonderful community of both seeing us and hearing all that is happening here in Unity Hall. We are so fortunate. Carol Irwin, where did it go? Deep sorrow at the death of her dear brother-in-law, Peter, and support for her sister and her two nieces or daughters. Carol, we're thinking of you and John, and of course of your sister. I'm sorry for that loss. Judy Bain expresses gratitude for those who made this service available online. I know, Judy is also celebrating that there are 66 households. Now 65, someone was insulted by my... I know. Ellen and Bruce Cummings share the news that Ellen was diagnosed with breast cancer in November, had surgery in early December, and is about to begin radiation therapy in 2 weeks. Her prognosis is good, for which we give thanks, and it is not an easy ride. So we are thinking both of Ellen, Bruce, and for you as well. May you get through this season with resilience and confidence. Peter, timing is off. Karen Jones is laughing. Yes, Priscilla Newell shares that Karen Miyamoto, Karen and Karen Prochnow, her spouse, were part of this congregation for many years, and Karen Miyamoto had a massive stroke last week and is expected and is not expected to survive. It's so hard to say that out loud. It is shocking. She is a young woman. I am sure that Karen Prochnow is beside herself. Priscilla, I know that your support and love means so much to her, and that you will tell her that we are all thinking about both of them and their loved ones. And yes, indeed, we are praying for her soul. And for you, Priscilla, these are dear friends of yours, I know. I also want to hold up a loss. this community has suffered. Tom Waller was the founder of this congregation's meditation sangha. He lived at Stone Ridge for many years, a good man, and he died about a week ago. Paula Nowakowski especially held up his memory. Paula worked closely with him to keep that sangha going. I know many of you are benefiting from that work many years ago. So we hold Tom's memory in our hearts and his family as they move through this transition. And so let us enter into a moment of meditation and prayer as we hold all that has been shared together. Spirit of life and of love, and always known and named, we begin with gratitude. Gratitude that we have all made our way to this moment together, that we are revived in the gathering. We hold in our hearts those who are grieving, who are ill, who are in the midst of difficult treatments. Just as we hold in our hearts those who are joyful, who are celebrating, whether it be new life or it be some wonderful accomplishment, or just where one's heart lands in this moment. On this Sunday, when we celebrate love and resilience, may we be reminded of the love that is in all the nooks and crannies of our days, if only we would look to find. We give thanks for this communion of souls, for all that this day will bring, and together we say, Amen. Amen. We'll close this circle in song. I invite the quartet to come forward. Adam is going to bring over the compressor. You can just get him.
Broad as the sunshine, free as the so shed an influence blessing to prove. Give for the noblest of efforts of ours. Blessed and be blessed is the law of love.
Thank you all so much. Thank you. Just lovely. Just lovely. Yeah, right? Huh. My sermon disappeared. Bill, maybe a little music while I search for my sermon. Okay, here it is. I was waiting for Beethoven's Ninth or something. Here we go. It won't open. Hey, Susan Beebe. Oh, wait a second. Whew. Okay, here we go. Well, that would have been interesting, but now I have the spinning ball from hell. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh my gosh, what's happening? All right, I think we're set. Okay, everybody take a deep breath. I'm feeling kind of weird these past couple of weeks. This kind of weird feeling brought to mind and brought me back to late February and March of 2020. In the years since, I've looked back at those weeks just prior to the shutdown, and I feel a kind of wistfulness for the life that was about to evaporate, for innocence that was about to morph into crisis. So let's go back to that moment just for a moment. Here at All Souls, on March 7th, 2020, we opened the doors for our annual tag sale. In the years since, we marvel, right, Janet, at just how under the wire was that event. Although we didn't know it yet, the next day, Sunday, March 8th, was the last time we'd worship together here in Unity Hall for 78 Sundays. My brother-in-law, Kate's brother, Patrick, and sister-in-law, Karen, were visiting from California that weekend. On Saturday, after we came by the tag sale, we went to a transcendent concert at the La Grua Center. I still think about it. After church the next day, we went to the Daniel Packer Inn for supper. Those were the last times we'd be out for 18 months. I pinned the concert program to the basement door next to the home family calendar as assurance that someday we'd be listening to live music in a room full of people once again. Do you remember your life in the weeks and days just ahead of that pandemic shutdown? Have the years since brought those days into fine focus? So my weird feeling is that 5 years from now, in 2030, if we can imagine, that this moment is going to be in fine focus. We're going to look back at these few weeks that will not lead to a pandemic, we hope so, but will certainly lead to some other kind of fresh hell on earth. And that we will think wistfully of these days that led to it, holding on to the memory of what we will have lost. Because we are about to lose and have already lost quite a bit. Freedom, security, health, basic tenets of democracy. Some will lose their newly adopted homeland and the dream of freedom and security and basic tenets of democracy. Dorothy Parker's voice sails into my consciousness every morning. Dorothy Parker, who famously asked, "What fresh hell is this?" apparently every time her doorbell rang. Every new day, the doorbell is ringing. What fresh hell is this? Indeed. So let's talk about hell. You thought this was going to be about love. Our Universalist ancestors never believed in the existence of hell beyond this life. The existence of a hell where one would suffer for all eternity. They believed, and it is our heritage to embrace, they believed that a loving God would never do such a thing as damn a single soul to hell. They believed that every soul, no matter the sin, would eventually be reconciled to this loving God. Further, the belief was then and is now still that human beings, and this is what I want to focus on, create our own version of hell right here on earth. Can I get an amen? Amen. Those of you in the online pews, put it in the chat. We certainly witness evidence of this theological stance everywhere we look. We are bludgeoned with images and proclamations and actions that prove that humanity is uniquely skilled in creating a robust array of circumstances that qualify as hellish. What fresh hell is this? Indeed. Are you feeling more hopeful than when you arrived? I know that's why many of you come to church. It's why I responded to a call to ministry, especially now. Hold on, I'm getting to it, because now we're going to turn our attention away from hell and toward heaven. Specifically, what it means to create heaven here on earth, in this life, now, today. But first, Nikki Giovanni is going to make a case for heaven.
No Heaven. Is that on?
Yeah.
By Nikki Giovanni. How can there be no heaven when rain falls gently on the grass, when sunshine scampers across my toes, when corn bakes into bread, when wheat melts into cake, when shadows cool and owls call and little finches eat upside down? How can there be no heaven when tears comfort, when dreams caress, when you smile at me? So ends the reading.
How can there be no heaven? How do we create heaven on earth in the midst of the daily fresh hell we are witnessing? We remember that there is heaven here on earth. When rain falls gently on the grass, when sunshine scampers across our toes, when corn bakes into bread, when wheat melts into cake, when shadows cool and owls call and little finches eat upside down, how can there be no heaven? On Thursday night, Kate, my spouse, and I went to the Guard and saw the Oscar-nominated documentary called No Other Land. Was anybody else there that night? Yeah, Susan, I saw you, Kathy. Yeah, Janet and Susan. It's the story of a young Palestinian man who lives in a village in the West Bank. The Israeli army, by orders of the Israeli government, is demolishing these villages, house by house, school by school, water well by water well. The film was made by this young man and an Israeli journalist, also a young man. And you see their friendship flourish and grow through the course of the film and the story that they are telling. It is a really difficult film to take in. My stomach was in knots through the whole of it. The people of this village are living in a kind of hell with seemingly no end to the callous cruelty unleashed upon them. But here's what I feel compelled to lift up and share with you this morning. These two young friends who made this movie, through the course of the story, they managed to laugh together. They tease each other. They dream about traveling together to calm and beautiful places. There is a celebration when the father comes home from prison, having been taken away from his home and family unjustly. He returns and there is cake. There are balloons. There are children running around, littles, babies born, and the grown-ups taking delight in their presence. There are protests with signs that say, in English, Palestinian lives matter. And the people march despite the grave danger that is brought close by participating in such protests. These people are living in caves. And still, they celebrate and they laugh and they protest. And I found myself thinking, who are we? Who are we to collapse into the fresh hell of this day without looking up and out to embrace our power and to create the heaven on earth that we so need and dream about? Or at least, who are we not to appreciate the heaven on earth right here before us in all the nooks and crannies, a burnt piece of toast, getting up early in the morning to drive a bus, holding on to a child and saying, it is okay, it is going to be okay. Who are we not to witness the heaven on earth that is right before us, threatened, but before us? Inspired by those, who are we? I don't want to miss saying this. So many of us protected by identities that are right now and have always been pretty safe. Not all of us. Inspired by those Palestinian people and all people who have suffered at the hands of their fellow humans, who have suffered horrifying injustices, many right here in this country. After all, we must, in this moment, join hands and create our own heaven on earth, guided by none other than love. Love will guide us through this hard night. On the night the alarm blares, you are pulled from sleep, you are whisked into the street where a quiet old lady is pointing to the sky. Stars shine, she says, long after they've flamed out, and the shine they shine with is love. But it's not only stars, the story said, that flame out, you discover. It's summer too, and friendships, and people, and sometimes freedom, and safety, and security, and democracy flames out. And it is in these moments that we hear the wise ones, our ancestors who have gone before us. Stars shine long after they flame out, and the shine they shine with is love. The shine they shine with is love. And we join our voices and we sing, love will guide us, peace has tried us, hope inside us will lead the way on the road from need to giving. Love will guide us through the hard night. By the strength of our communion, we say this every Sunday, right? By the strength of our communion, we join hands and we do the most radical thing. We laugh. We sing. We protest. We call our legislators. I called a couple legislators who are not my legislators last week. And we write notes of encouragement to brave bishops who with steady voice plead for mercy and justice. And we celebrate a new day, another Sunday, during which we are reminded of the power of community and, yes, the power of love. And we cannot forget this. I cannot forget this. We cannot forget that love must always be in the center from which all other values flow. Love will guide us through this dark night. As people of faith, as Unitarian Universalists with clear eyes, we recognize and name what fresh hell is this. By love, we are guided to respond by building a heaven on earth in this life for all people. And we say, Amen. Amen. And blessed be. And now I want to offer you two opportunities in this moment. There will be a protest tomorrow at 1 o'clock in front of the courthouse. That is being organized nationwide, in capitals, but in front of courthouses as well. Lori Gorham is taking the lead on this. Some of you know Lori. And then at 2 o'clock, right here in Unity Hall, Hearing Youth Voices and Note to Self are sponsoring listening circles, facilitated listening circles, so that we may build this community, build our strength, build our power by coming to know people with whom we have not crossed paths before. This is a remarkable opportunity I hope you will take advantage of tomorrow at 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock at the courthouse, then go get a cup of coffee, come back here, and we will have listening circles. So let us build our power, guided by love, through this dark night. Amen. Amen. Let us enter into a communion of silence to hold close our power. It is our stewardship season here at All Souls, And Karen Ethier-Waring was to offer this testimonial last week. She's away this week, but we have her through the miracle of technology. So let us hear what Karen has to say.
Good morning. My name is Karen Ethier-Waring, and I'm sorry I couldn't be with you in person today, but I really did want to talk to you about the stewardship campaign and pledging. I have worshiped and sung and laughed and wept with the All Souls congregation for over 20 years, and I have loved it. What I haven't always loved is the pledging experience. I don't know, I don't like talking about money, I don't like to think about it, it just felt uncomfortable to me. That went away really quickly when I became a board member a few years back. That's when I realized that nobody's worrying about how much you're giving, but the volunteer leaders are waiting for pledges to come in and to be clarified so that they can do the work planning for next year. That's it. That's it. If every single member of the congregation, every single household made a pledge, they could just move on with their work. And until the pledges come in and are clear, their hands are tied. And it's unnecessary. The work's already kind of hard, fun, wonderful, growthful, but not easy. So tying their hands is a little unfortunate. Now I know that this year is different, right? We can't know exactly what this coming year is going to look like. Not that we ever really can, but we think we can, right? Carolyn's not going to be in the pulpit next year, and we are so sad about that. However, Carolyn and this congregation have grown together and created what All Souls is today. That creation and that co-creation is not going to stop because each of you are here and I'm here and we're not going anywhere. In this current time, in this world and in this country and in this city and in our hearts, I think we really need All Souls more than ever. We need our strength, we need our joy, we need our courage and our wisdom. We need a place to gather and to think and pray and sing together. So I ask you kindly to get your pledges in today. If you're here in Unity Hall and you haven't pledged yet, there are forms at the welcome table. You've all each gotten emails. Let's get this done, friends, so that we can move forward and see what our next year brings and go joyfully into our future. Thank you.
So with those words from Karen, we're going to move into our offering. Let me just say that today's is a dedicated offering in support of the UUA and their annual program fund. And the annual program fund is
Good
what
morning.
supports...
My name's Karen.
Well, good morning again. Is what supports all of the services and things that we get from the UUA. They're helping make our ministerial search for our, I hesitate to say new Carolyn, but for who will be joining us next year in the interim period and then for our final settled minister as well. They do so many things in support of RE, professional development for our staff, for our volunteer leadership. All of those things come to us through the UUA, and we give back to the UUA through the annual program fund. So this is your opportunity to say thank you to the UUA and give as generously as possible for that. Also, as a reminder, there are pledge forms over at the welcome table that you can pick up today and do as Karen asks, complete your pledge form today. And I want to just quickly let you know where we are with the stewardship process. As of Friday, we were at just about 65% of our goal. Our goal is, to remind you, was $472,500. And we have already received pledges from members and friends in the amount of $311,593. I don't have the numbers of how many households that represents here at All Souls. I think it's coming along there. And you don't want us to reach the end and say, well, we were at 99.9% of households, and know that you were the ones who didn't get yours turned in. You don't want to be that. So please, this is like the NPR, give generously. So join me in saying our words for the offering. To the work of all souls, our work weaves the fabric of love called community. To this end, we dedicate ourselves and this our offering.
I just want to say one more thing about the UUA. For example, in March, the board will be meeting for our annual retreat, our spring retreat, and that will be led by a member of the UUA staff who's going to be talking with us about this transition and how to best enter into it. Last week Mary Drake received this beautiful box from Side with Love, as All Souls was recognized as a good trouble congregation. Yeah. This is the effort that Mary led here at All Souls to write all those postcards, thousands and thousands of postcards. And the UUA understands the importance of celebration, and in the mail came this box of celebration for all of those folks who did such good work to try to inspire new voters to get to the polls. So this is to say we are supported by the UUA, and the money that we send to them supports All Souls, but also all of the congregations with whom we are in covenant in the association. So thank you for giving generously. I want to thank Mary Drake once again for all of the work that she, where are you, Mary? There you are, all of the work that Mary Drake. Those of you who volunteered and helped with the postcards, Mary has these great buttons that say, "We are a good trouble congregation," and one of those buttons is for you. So see Mary afterwards if you helped, and you'll get your button. Let's have the offering be taken up. Thank you. Go ahead, come on. Bill. for all that you have shared and sacrificed. Thank you. And thank you, Carolyn Carter, for the great idea for the Venmo, what is it called? The QR code. For the QR code. I just made my donation in 1 second because no excuse. It's so true. Thank you, Carolyn, and thank all of you. Thank you. So we will now join our voices once again in singing Spirit of Life. We will sing it twice through. I invite you to rise in body and or in spirit.
They may be seated.
No.
No.
No one's sitting down.
No, do not sit.
No, come on.
Please join me in saying the words to extinguish our chalice.
Our worship has ended,
but our service is not yet done. May our spirits be renewed and our purpose resolved as we meet the challenges of the week. The chalice flame is extinguished until once again ignited by the strength of our communion.
Those of you in the online pews, hold your hearts and reach out to the world beyond your screen. Those of you here in Unity Hall, let us open our hearts, remembering that we have the power to create and recognize heaven on earth. May we be guided by love through this dark night, and may we go in peace and return again with great joy. Amen. Amen. I invite you to be seated.
So, we have announcements, and I would like to invite Sally to come forth with a very special opening announcement.
Come on up. Come on up, Sally. Good morning. Hey. My name's Sally McGee, and I am working with Karen Etherwaring, and we're chairing what we're calling the Goodbye Committee in anticipation of our dear Reverend Carolyn's retirement. And over the next few months, as we're saying farewell, we are going to do our very best to show up for Carolyn the way that she has shown up for us, and working together to honor her and move forward with joy, even through our tears. So as Carolyn is making her way to retirement, there are going to be lots of ways that we can show her our love, even as we're letting go, and letting her know that that she's always going to be a part of each of us and All Souls. This transition is also really a way for us to build and strengthen and weave community. To do this, of course, there are a lot of practical things that need to be done. So we need your help. And you may have seen in the newsletter, there are several really great congregation-wide events that are going to be happening in May and June. So I hope you saw. If you didn't, take a look at the save the dates. May 9th, there's going to be a dance party. June 6th, a musicale. You can talk to Carolyn Carter about that, or Paul Carolyn. June 15th is going to be Carolyn's last service preaching. June 21st, there's going to be a celebration over at Connecticut College, celebrating a courageous and joyful ministry. And then on June 22nd, the release of Covenant Service. So it's a lot of stuff. So we need help. We need hands, lots of hands to help with this. So there are lots of ways to help. And so we need your name and your email address and your phone number. You can say, I'm willing to help, and Karen and I will talk with you and slot you into the best place for you to help. So there is a sign-up sheet here. There's going to be a sign-up sheet in the coffee, by the coffee, and I'm here, I'm doing coffee hour, so you can talk to me or you can email me and Karen at goodbye@allsouls.net. All right? Thanks.
Thank you, Sally.
So also, for you to know, if you're new to All Souls and you want to know more about our faith community, please stop by the welcome table. Peggy is waving her hand over there, and she will be happy to greet you, answer your questions, and share with you the joy that we all have being a part of this congregation. Today, there's a sharing circle for caregivers that will be in the Vale Library. We have listening circles tomorrow at All Souls. Carolyn already talked about that at 2 o'clock right here. The office will be closed tomorrow in observance of President's Day. Oh, and circle suppers are coming back again, Saturday, February 22nd. If you have any questions, you can chat with Moira Herbert, who I haven't seen here today, but find someone else who can help you find out your answers. And then next Sunday, February 23rd, Perry will be preaching from the pulpit. So that's something to look forward to.
And can I also say that protest tomorrow is at noon. It's not at 1, it's at noon to 1 o'clock, okay?
So you have lots of time for coffee in between coming over here. So thank you all. You have a wonderful week.
Bye to the folks in the online pews. Thanks for hanging in.
Yep.
Have a cup of coffee.